Another really important priority that we've been working on for the last 4 years in office has been increasing the accessibility and the affordability of childcare throughout the city of San Diego. Now, why does this really matter? It matters because so many families are finding it unaffordable to put their children in childcare so that they can go back into the workforce and make money for their families. This is really causing people to drop out of the workforce. It means that their economic prosperity is decreasing. And it also means that children are not getting great programming that child care programs provide them at very young ages when their brains are developing and when they are learning to socialize. Well, first, let's talk about the Office of Child and Youth Success. In 2021, we implemented the first Office of Child and Youth Success in the history of our city that is completely designed to make sure the city works for families and children alike. And we now have a plan in place that is going to work with nonprofits, work with small businesses, work with stakeholders across the state. We can change laws and get financial incentives to increase the number of slots for childcare. That child and youth plan is the first of its kind in our city, and it's really the landmark that will lead us into the next 10 to 20 years to make sure we have more childcare. On top of that, we've taken care of our own employees here in the city of San Diego. We went from 4 weeks of paid parental leave to 8. A policy I proposed doubled it and made it easier to get pregnancy disability so that mothers who are about to give birth or who have given birth and can't work can continue to get benefits from the state. This has been a really important policy for the city because we've had over 300 workers who've taken advantage of that. Both mothers and fathers get that, and when their child is born or they adopt a child. Now, that not only is an extra time to take care of a brand new baby, which my wife and I know from this past year, but it means that we're recruiting workers that never thought to come work for the city because our benefits weren't really that good. When you improve a key benefit like that, we are getting better and better workforce right here in the city of San Diego to deliver city services. Now, let's talk about Measure H. In 2022, we spearheaded Measure H, which makes it so that we can have child care facilities at park and rec centers, right in your neighborhood, right where you already take your families to have a good time on the weekend or after work. We're trying to make sure we can convert some of those rec centers that already have good space into a child care facility. What that's going to do is mean there's more slots right next to your home, right where you would need to take your kid before driving off to work. We want to put it right in your neighborhood. Now, that is an expensive thing. We've got the plan in place. We've looked at all 9 districts across the entire city to make sure we can do that, neighborhood by neighborhood, district by district. And we are now looking to figure out how we can get the capital to actually invest in those improvements and have childcare facilities right in the park or rec center near your home. It's a really remarkable thing, and we're really glad that the voters approved that by a very big margin on the ballot in November of 2022. And last but not least, the anti-discrimination law that we proposed and was passed by the council and signed into law by the mayor. What a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of the homes in your neighborhoods, even some of the apartments in your neighborhoods, are actually in-home child care facilities where you have a person who's running a child care facility where they could have 5, 7, 10 young people in their home throughout the day providing childcare to nearby neighbors. And so what was going on in that sort of industry? We saw a lot of landlords discriminating against people who were their renters who wanted to use that space for their business. So what did we do? We put an anti-discrimination law on the books so that landlords could not discriminate against people who were simply just trying to run a small business of providing affordable childcare close to where people live in their neighborhoods. And that was a really remarkable success. So now how do we move into the future? How do we continue to support improving childcare accessibility and affordability in the city of San Diego? Well, doubling down on that child and youth plan that we have through the Office of Child and Youth Success, where we build partnerships with nonprofits that provide childcare, small businesses that provide childcare, and getting their input. And they're asking us for things like making permitting easier, making sure they can put in place their development, they can put in place their construction, and get those slots open for the customers like you and your family who want to have your child in childcare near your home. That's a big thing that we're trying to support. And last but not least, getting the capital to change those rec centers and conforming a portion of it so that it can have childcare. We're not trying to get rid of basketball courts and tennis courts and all the other good things that rec centers have. We just want to take underutilized space so that we can have 15 to 20 to 25, maybe even more childcare slots right next to your home. And that's going to be something we continue to push for in the next 4 years.